What's up? I'm Lawrence Hicks Wilson. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome back to my channel if it isn't. And today we're going to talk about Brandy's #1 New York's bestseller memoir, her new memoir, Phases. If you can't tell, the audiobook is in the background and all the Brandy pictures that are always around me. But we're going to talk about her amazing memoir. We're going to talk about the book tour, the weekend surrounding the book tour, and her getting her Hollywood Star Walk of Fame. You know, I bought about 5 copies. You guys already know I did. We're going to talk about that too. But first, let's get into the theme song, y'all.
Don't ever doubt you'll be someone. Always go for what you want. Get up and put your purpose on. Get up, feel the sunshine on your face. Believe that you deserve it all. Put in the work and you will end up far. This is my show and tell. So tell me, are you ready to get it on? So tell me, yeah. So tell me, are you ready? So tell me, are you ready for me? So tell me, are you ready? Tell me, are you ready?
Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lawrence. We're going to talk about Brandy's new memoir, Phases, the New York Times bestseller, and also it's #1 on Audible. Congratulations to Brandy. And I have so many thoughts that I want to unpack. If you can't tell, by the Brandy shirt and the Brandy pictures, you ought to know what's going on. Don't get me wrong. I am a realist at heart, but I also feel like this book is very real, and it shapes and put everything into perspective. It gives a lot of context. It doesn't even give you room to be biased, because Brandy, not only does she shine a light on parts that we didn't know about her taking accountability even for things that she probably really shouldn't take accountability for, but also her acknowledging where she needed to see her own strength and weaknesses. It's such a good book. It covers everything in the career, from all the stuff that you know that we know, but it also covered things in her childhood that add a lot of context and clarities to maybe how she was thinking or feeling, or why she made a decision, or whatever was going on. I'm already rambling. Stick with me, stick with me. There is a lot of chapters here. It's #1 on Audible, so you can listen to that sweet voice of Brandy guide you through the entire book. This is the Pink Camellias
Feel
chapter.
like concrete blocks when you weren't ready to carry them.
So if you want to listen to that sweet voice, you can on the Audible version, which is #1 right now. It has quite a few chapters. I feel like the book, as we all probably can tell by now, it's entitled Phases, and it's covering all of the phases of her life as Brandy, just the girl, but also Brandy, the artist, and the celebrity as we know her, and how that was immense pressure to carry. It just really goes there. It really, really goes there. Of course, it talks about her upbringing in McComb, Mississippi, her moving to California, Carson, California, which is not too far where I grew up. It talks about her coming up in church. She dedicated this book to her daughter, Sarah. Continued to be a light. I know Sarah was just emotional and just full of, just overwhelmed emotionally. And I don't even know what was going through her head. I can only imagine, you know what I'm saying? Just to see her mom not only telling her story, but getting the flowers and the love that she deserved. Not only right now, but forever, whenever Brandy drops another album, and to infinity. So of course, there's a preface, and there is, here's the preface right here. I don't want to make this video extremely long. I want y'all to let me know if you want me to do like a chapter breakdown and talk about each chapter, and do it, like if you want to discuss each chapter. I don't know. There's also something else that someone wanted me to do regarding Brandy and discussing each sector of it. So y'all let me know, as far as this book, would you guys like me to discuss each chapter and make that into like a whole series? You know how people do on here on YouTube. Just let me know if you guys are interested, and we can work something out. But I want to kind of run through what I absorbed from reading this entire book without keeping you guys here for a long time, and also without giving away what's in the book, because I feel like you guys should actually purchase it and experience it for yourself. And yeah, all that kind of stuff. So sorry, I hope that doesn't make you want to click away. But I will be discussing some really good parts too that'll probably still make you want to buy the book. So if you want to hear that, stay. Okay, so of course there's a preface, and it's like a story, a folklore about a girl that is basically enchanted and enlightened by the moon, you know, and its powers and things like that. And she was searching for what was herself. You know, she just felt so broken. You know, this part of the book, as her loneliness grew, her body filled with sorrow, the little girl swelled and swelled, her tiny body expanding like a balloon. Her grief grew so thick that she could no longer find her voice. So she drifted along earth, weightless yet heavy with despair. So it talks about a girl carrying like a lot of weight to the point where it paralyzed her, not only spiritually, sometimes physically, where she lost herself, maybe lost her voice, maybe lost identity. And this book is spoken from that perspective, and it's a really good one. But obviously I am not a 7-year-old girl or a woman or anything like that, but I still feel like it can apply to anybody. Not to kind of take away from what Brandy intends and what her intention is for this book, but basically the preface is describing that, like, you know, a person that has dealt with something, maybe is carrying something that is silencing them or shrinking them, and you could lose sight of what you are supposed to be doing, or just, you know, I'm sure you guys are following, but basically you can lose sight of yourself because of the pressure that is weighing on you. And all of that in between. You have depression that's in between all of that, doubt, all that kind of stuff. But that's basically the preface. Phases, Brandy describes, I believe phases is the first chapter, of course. Before we get to the first chapter of the book, I don't want to go through every single one of these, and you know what I mean, because I like, if you guys want me to do a series on that, I will do that. But that's the preface of the book. Of course I have like 5 copies. This one, I believe, is the first one that I got because I went to the LA book tour. There was a LA book tour and a New York book tour, so I went to the LA one that was at the Ricardo Montalban Theater. It was amazing. I'll put clips up so you guys can see. I also feel like I should make a separate video, so stay tuned for that so you guys can see that whole experience of me getting the book. And also I have thoughts that I recorded while reading the book when I first got it, like in live, like the live moment of me actually reading it and my thoughts. So I recorded that in little TikTok form, so I'm gonna put that together and put that in the video. So y'all stay tuned for that. But this one is from the theater. It came with the ticket when you bought your seat. I was trying to get the closest one. I'm going to continue to follow my first mind. But yeah, it was some really good seats up there, because not only because of who was up there, but you could really get a good look at Brandy. She looked amazing. She had on this brown, and I love the hair. It reminded me of Full Moon for some reason. She just looked beautiful, as she always does. I have a mouthful on that. I don't want to ramble because I want to keep y'all here, keep y'all watching the video so y'all don't click away on YouTube. This is a signed copy from Barnes & Noble. This is the one that came most recently. I can tell the difference, and I know that they're actually signed by Brandy, because not only does it emulate the autograph that's on the poster that's up here. Look, hold on. That blue one up there. I have another one that's a purple one. It emulates that signature, so I know that it's real. Plus the second one that I have that has another signature in it, it looks exactly the same, but it differs because of what, maybe she was busy, but it looks exactly the same. I'll show you guys. But yep, I know it's her, because yeah, that B and that Y gives it away all the time. She didn't put the much love this time in the happy face, but it feels good to have something signed by not only the artist that that is the blueprint to me, but when you're reading a book and the person that essentially wrote it signs it, it's a pretty dope experience. I feel like I'm having an existential or like a fourth dimension experience. But yeah, her signature is in this one. That's from Barnes & Noble. This one right here signed as well. It's from the Reparations Club. This is a Black owned business, a women's black owned business. Shout out to you ladies. And it comes with this special enamel pin with Brandy's logo, emulating the logo from her first few albums, as well as the logo that she uses now. She used it for B7 as well, which I think she should use it for now and forever, because it's an easily identifiable thing besides that voice and her braids and any other style and any other thing that she did that she made trend. Because again, this is the blueprint we're talking about. Reparations Club come with a cool bookmark, you know, Reparations Club on the back, and then it has black owned, women owned, and it has a QR code, of course. And this one is signed. Like I said, this is how it looks, and she kind of put the Y around the whole thing. I just love the little different thing. But again, it feels good to have a book signed by the actual person that is telling you their story. It's pretty epic. No pun intended, because that's her nephew's name. Okay. Let me keep you guys here. This one is from the Reparations Club with the blue enamel pen. The one I just put down before that is from Barnes & Noble. And the first one I showed you is from the theater. And this one is from my friend. It came from Amazon. I got it for Christmas. I showed you guys in the video before this while telling you guys about Brandy receiving the Black Icon Music Award. It was a picture of this that I printed out, or that they printed out for me, and I'm like, oh, thank you for the printed picture, because, you know, I'll take anything with Brandy on it damn near, you know, even if it's printed out of the computer, it just takes me back to the early 2000s when I used to do that. But I thought it was just the picture, but they were like, no, I pre-ordered the book for you, and then I actually printed the picture out for you. So, you know, yeah, I hung that picture up too. And then I got the audio book, of course. There's about 26 chapters, 26 good, great chapters. And just to like kind of run through them really quickly so you guys can get a gist of what it's about. The book essentially has 26 chapters, and it starts with the preface, of course, like we just talked about, and then phases where she's talking about the performance she had with Burna Boy, and it's kind of like a full circle moment for her again, where he's performing the Sitting on Top of the World song that he used her sample from Top of the World 1998. And again, it's at the Grammys. A lot of the moments and the talking points that she had where she describes a moment, I realized I may have that picture. A lot of times, a lot of those pictures are on my wall, where she's like, when she starts the book off and she's talking about the last time she performed at the Grammys was in 1997, where she performed Sitting Up in My Room, where she wore the black. And that picture is right over here. Like, I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's next to the Cinderella magazine. Sometimes I feel like me and Brandy are like connected, not in a weird way. And I don't even like saying that. I really, some of these things I'm going to keep to myself because I don't want it to sound weird. But I just feel like, I don't know, like sometimes God create people like for a purpose. And it's just like, okay, you see that? That's all I'm going to say on that. Talking about her moment at the Grammys once again, for a song that she performed some odd years ago, and she wouldn't even think that people would care that she got back on stage, but immediately feeling like, yes, we've been waiting on you, where have you been, we love you. And that's exactly what it is, Brandy. That's exactly what it is every time we see you. I'm sure she was up there thinking like, I can't believe this rapper sampled my song, and I'm just like, yes, what do you mean? What do you mean? Of course. I've been waiting on somebody to get it and sample a Brandy song. I don't know if it's because they saw a group of us Brandy fans and was like, nah, I doubt it. Nah, I doubt it. It's because you are who you are. This is like, I realized reading this book too, Brandy suffered a lot from imposter syndrome. If you don't know what that is, look it up. But it kind of like, if I'm not wrong, it makes the person feel like they're not deserving, or just a lot of things. And a lot of us deal with that. Little things like you just don't feel deserving. You just feel like, you know, like you're just waiting for something to kind of go left so people can go, I knew you wasn't, you know what I mean? Or I knew this was what you know what I mean? Somebody to have an aha moment about you, or you having it yourself, and to like have that pressure on you. The next chapter after that is Pink Camellias, which is what's on pause right here, which what I just played not too long ago. And that's pretty much describing her upbringing in McComb, Mississippi, her roots, the difference that she and Ray J saw once they had to move to California, how their parents really want to keep them rooted and grounded in what they grew up in, and seeing those values and sticking to those core values, getting away from the city, you know, all those things, staying out of trouble. and just things like that. How Brandy's grandfather was in the Freedom Fighters, how that affected her whole family lineage as far as like even her mom's upbringing, what they taught Brandy, Ray J when they were born from Sonia's side of the family, Willie's side of the family, Mr. Willie, I'm sorry, Mrs. Norwood and Mr. Norwood. I did not know that they went to black colleges, and that's amazing. I also did not, I knew this, but I'm glad that Brandy clarified that they were not preachers' kids. They're not PKs. Mr. Willie Norwood was not a preacher. He was a music minister. So he was like the top, the magician. Not only am I going to be picking the songs, but I'm going to be arranging them, picking who sings what, all that, like, hello? So I don't know, maybe people kind of get that confused. Like, I don't know. People kind of describe me and my sister as that sometimes, but I clarify, look, my mom was nowhere near that. We just went to church all the time, you know, but she was never the first lady. It was never that deep. My mom will tell you in a minute, she was a backslider. She was very serious about our relationship with Christ and going to church and being involved in that. And our upbringing is very much so rooted in that. We grew up and went to church in Los Angeles. So it's funny that they moved from Mississippi and went to church in Los Angeles to a church that her grandfather built. Her grandfather was into construction. What's funny is my godmother is into construction as well, and she helped erect the Staples Center, which is now the Crypto Center, which is where Brandy was performing with Burner Boy, performing Sitting on Top of the World. Isn't that crazy? I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I remember when they built it, or when they were done rather, because that's when my grandmother was like, I'm gonna take you guys somewhere. She took me and my sister, and she took us to go see it. And her name, if they did move that plaque, it's on there. That's where the Wilson comes from. Yeah, but hopefully they don't do no MK, what you call that? What's that when they kind of, the Mandela effect and erase her name? Or not, I don't think it's history. It's, you know what I mean? You can never take that away from somebody. But back to Brandy. Her grandfather helped build Church of Christ in Inglewood, which is, again, not far from where I grew up. I'm sure that the green line was right over there, and it's still over there. Inglewood, my aunties and my cousins, they all grew up there before they moved to the Valley. So it's kind of interesting to hear that Brandy and I were in like similar orbits. And her grandfather also had dealings in the church back in Mississippi as well, so it was no long shot that all of that came to play. And she was really revered her grandfather. She talks about her first solo at church, how she was terrified and basically cried and ran off the stage. And her father basically over time, like throughout that year, like encouraging her, like, you can get back to it. That's not gonna happen again. And just kind of teaching her what they were, you know, practicing privately and what they continue to practice privately. Also, it reminded me of my first solo in church, because you have people that she's describing in her book, like, take your time, baby. The Lord ain't in a rush for nobody. And I remember my first solo, my mom would kind of like tell me, like, you know, you were holding on to the wall. You would lean on that wall, holding on tight because you were scared. And I also could remember like hearing the church ladies in the front going, speak up, sing up, you know. So, and that would like scare me. But by the end of my performance, all I could remember was everybody on their feet and in the Holy Spirit, just slain in the Holy Spirit on their feet. I did not know, and that scared me. I remember running to the back, and just my heart was just beating. No tears. Because I didn't want to cry in front of anybody, and I didn't want anyone to come back there. But I just remember running off, and if my mom has it on tape, my mom has this on tape. Me at church, I probably was the same age as Brandy. I remember my sister, my older sister, she's gonna come up a few times. I might have to give her a different name because she goes by something totally different now to the culinary, so she's a whole top chef, okay? And she ended up cooking for Brandy. Fast forward, story time for a different time if I haven't already told y'all. But she used to bully me for my love of Brandy, like bully me. And it's funny that she went, not funny, but it just really felt good that she came with me to the Hollywood Star Walk of Fame to see, so Brandy could see her star get put down. And I'm just like, girl, you used to tease me for my love for Brandy. And also she used to tease me for wanting to sing. And that performance at church, not only did I run off of the stage in fear, but I also knew that she was laughing at me in the back because she told me that she was. So that stuck with me, and that shaped my confidence in myself, you know, even though that's a projection of someone else. Now that I know that, and then we were young, sometimes it's not all that deep. I can't really pull that all together in totality, but just for some people it's not all that deep. And sometimes your siblings or your people are just saying things because they just got first dibs. They're just a little bit older than you and they know your buttons. But I'll say for me and my sister, that stuck with me for a long time, because that turned into other things like, shut up. Like, I did not grow up in that type of my mom was a little more encouraging, but she was more so like running a tight ship. Like, get your clothes ready for school. Did you clean your room? Did you do your homework? She was more so like, you are very talented. When you turn 18, you can do whatever you want to do though. You know, that was like, you know, she was very like, look, I'm here to get you to school. I'm here to make sure that you are healthy. I'm here to make sure that you have a good relationship with Christ. Yes, you are very talented. Anything that we can get into at church and at school, she had no problem with that. But her becoming a momager was not up on the menu, and it was not up for debates. But my sister, however, she was not encouraging. Maybe it wasn't as serious to her, but that shaped my confidence for years. And Brandy talks about that in Pete Camellia's, how that performance shaped her confidence for a while, to the point where she had to go back and do a solo later on that her dad told her that she would be great at, and that led her into actually directing the choir and directing the young adult choir. Daddy just standing up for her. This video is gonna run so long, so I have to kind of like almost cut it off right here. But here's a few more things I want to say before we end it, because we might have to turn this into a series, because I'm like thinking about all the things that I also experienced at the same time that Brandy is talking about her experiences. Like, that is my star. She is my, like, now that I know that she's talking about Whitney that way, she is my North Star. She is. And I have to say, we have so much to talk about. We have so much to talk about. Okay. So the next chapter is Outsider. The one after that is Showcase. And the one after that is Drop Dead Gorgeous. Outsider is going to tell you about how she felt like she couldn't fit in when she moved to Carson, how it was different adjusting, and kids not understanding kids that grew up in church. Like, oh, y'all the goody two-shoes kids. Like, I definitely dealt with that too. Oh my gosh. We have so much to talk about. The Showcases also talk about Brandy getting back into getting on stage and finding her voice again after she did her church solo again, and it actually went well for her. And then her dad going, I told you. And basically that turning into her seeking more opportunities to share her voice. And her discovering Whitney Houston, all those things. The Drop Dead Gorgeous chapter. Look, we have so many things to talk about. The Drop Dead Gorgeous chapter is talking about her elaborating on what happened with her and Mrs. D. She talks about it in a lot of different documentaries and all that kind of stuff, but she really elaborates on it because she's pulling from her describing what her childhood was like in Mississippi and Los Angeles, her being the outsider in Carson, her being picked on for being people they would misunderstand her again as being Little Miss Perfect in a way, even then, because your dad is taking you out of church and the way your mom dresses you. You know, I totally get it. The whole thing with the teacher gatekeeping and not sending Brandy out on auditions, because honestly, the teacher didn't understand Black Beauty, and that's just how I'm gonna spin it. Like, they usually don't. You know, they don't know how to put the right makeup on us, light us correctly. Not every single person or entity. I'm just saying there's some cases where, especially in the industry that Brandy is in the industry that I'm in, I've witnessed that and seen that. You kind of have to like look out for yourself, make sure your hair is laid in the way that you want to lay it in, so they're not deciding for you what you should look like. Just a lot of different things. Somebody telling you that you're not Drop Dead Gorgeous, adding to people misunderstanding your complexion, your eyes, your features, and because she talks about her eyes, her features, her complexion, her not feeling like she was the lightest and had the longest hair. So for someone to emphasize that and project that back to her because they were looking for this Vanessa Williams, it's just, but her eventually getting Thea through the Hollywood High experience, Brandy standing up for herself for the first time is in this book with a girl that was just really nasty. Like, oh, you think you better, huh? Trust me, I've dealt with that too. Oh, you think you Mr. Perfect? Oh my gosh, we have so many story times on people that has told me that. Oh, you think you Mr. Perfect? It is annoying. It forces you to like reflect, like, dang, like, is that what I think of myself? Like, you know what I mean? Or it just does something to you. And then her turning that back around and getting tired of it because she realized, okay, all your friends, some people are not always going to be around to have your back. That even though if they do, so there's going to come a time where you're going to have your own back because they're not there. But also there may be people around you that may not have your back. Not because they don't like you, just because they're watching something crazy happen. They don't want to get involved. Like, okay, this, and then once it's over, they're like, hey, are you good? Because that's basically what happened in this story that Brandy was telling. Listen, there's so many things. Brandy's treatment on the set of Thea, what actually happened with Thea, basically humiliating Brandy, her starting her first menstrual, and Thea announcing it. I remember a teacher did that to my sister. We have to talk. The Kind of Girl That You Can Be Down For Her, talking about her first album, Broken Hearted. All of these titles kind of reflecting her personal experience, but also titles coming from her album. Reflecting the polarity, you know, because she's also singing about broken hearted, but she's always experienced her own personal broken hearted experience for the first time, not only with the obvious that everybody is thinking they know everything about, but also the guy that she talked about before that. You know what I mean? That the guy that was supposed to be in I Want to Be Down the video. Her relationship with Whitney Houston. Listen, look, okay, listen. There's so many things we could discuss in this book. It's so good. We're probably gonna have to like chop this up, discuss this in so many different chapters, but this book is so good. It gave me clarity. In totality, even if we do an episode series where I'm breaking down all the chapters, this book showed me not only do you have to love yourself, but you have to know who you are. And a lot of times that can be a challenging if you're on that journey of growing into what you are naturally. Like if you're a 13-year-old and you haven't even discovered who you are, and now you're in an environment where that is kind of like sped up for you, situation where you're forced to have to decide who you are. Love yourself, accept yourself. Like, oh my gosh, this is a book. If this book doesn't teach you on, you should have just been yourself the entire time. You already had it. There was nothing that you needed to worry about. Don't let people knock you off your square, get in your head. I mean, the universe telling you that some things are just destiny, like her running into Whitney Houston, almost meeting her, actually meeting her, on the phone with her, turning into actually having phone conversations with her because of their paths coming together. There's so many things that we can discuss, and I haven't ever been disappointed. This made me also listen to Brandy's albums differently because it's given me a perspective of where she actually was when the album was being made, instead of, oh, I think this is where she was because of the branding and the image and the brand, basically, what they want you to think of the person because of the brand. Like, for instance, we're listening to Mary J. Blige's My Life, and we're thinking because of the branding, oh, this is her wearing the more glasses and bigger hats and bolder colors, and ooh, she's wearing bigger hats and she's wearing them low. Ooh, she got on, you know what I mean? Ooh, look at them glasses. But what Mary was hiding behind those glasses and why she was wearing the hat low, or just a lot of stuff, you know. Also, I'd like to say that this color of the book, blue, is the same color of my Brandy book. The Brandy book that I showed you guys in the previous video, there's a lot of different pictures and clippings from here, from real time. It was a gift for my birthday. And I just love that the colors are in coordination. Again, it's just like, I feel like a sign from the universe that not only do I need to stay focused on what I need to do and be myself, love myself, be good to myself, stay focused, be confident, you know, have a healthy work ethic, work hard, but have a healthy work ethic, all that. And just so many other things. But listen, this video is going to be entirely too long if I keep talking about it. If I talk about all the chapters, if I talk about every single chapter and sector, because I have so many thoughts on it. But I'll see y'all in the next video. I want to discuss Ray J's first album, Everything That You Want, so that's going to be the next video. I was already going to do this, but this book like propelled it and confirmed it. Like, yeah, I absolutely need to do this. Ray J, like I feel like people be sleep on him too. But yeah, been had this boy, and there's so many favorites I have off this album. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that next. I'll see y'all in the next video. I'm also gonna show you guys videos on the Brandy getting her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, where me and my sister went to see that happen, and I'll also to the book tour in Los Angeles where Brandy talked about the book with Erica Campbell. I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.